Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm catching up with Ben Darcy from Hillbilly Endurance down on the Gold Coast, and we're going to chat about Dead Cow Gully Ultra. So full disclosure, this was just a bit of fun, and please let us know in the comments below someone that you think's got what it takes to take out the LOS format out here at Dead Cow Gully Ultra. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Alright, welcome back to another video, and I'm here joined today with Ben Darcy from Hillbilly Endurance. How you doing?
Hey Rowan, thanks for having me, mate.
That's
looking forward to having a bit of a chat.
Yeah, it's been a while. I think the last time I seen you was at a ridiculously hot time of the year, running 50Ks down the Gold Coast.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Were you running, or was I running, or were we both running?
We were both running.
Yeah, okay.
But that was, I think that was 2019.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Jeepers, that's too long. But what brings us here today is we are going to do a bit of a race preview to Dead Cow Gully coming up in 2 weeks. And we're just going to discuss about some of the runners and see who might be the favorites coming up into this LOS format. You haven't been out there yet, have you, Ben?
I haven't, mate. I reckon I've been promising Tim for like 3 years since before the first event. Oh yeah, I'm going to get out there, come and have a look, and I haven't. So, and I don't think I'm going to get out there again this year at this rate. So,
because
yeah, it's on the to-do list, even just to go out there, take the van for the weekend.
Yeah, definitely, because you are one of the sponsors of the race. Yeah. So definitely should come out to Country Queensland and check that out.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to he's doing some good things out there, Tim. Dead Cow Gully, Western Branch. He's got a couple other things in the pipeline, and I just saw yesterday or the day before actually that the Dead Cow Gully are teaming up with the Ultra Series guys from WA to put on a backyard ultra in Tassie.
Yeah, and I think one of the guys, Ben Hurst, who is running at Dead Cow Gully, is going to be the race organizer or the race event director.
Right.
I think, if I read that correctly. So that's going to be something to look out for in the future. It's pretty exciting. Now the LOS format is getting very popular. It's definitely a more of an atmosphere, because you get to see everyone every hour, and it's quite fun just running with different people throughout the day. So it's definitely very popular for the social aspect, that's for sure. All right, so we're going to talk about the ladies first. Our top 5. I've got a pretty good idea who the favorite will be, but we'll talk about a top 5, and then possibly a couple of outsiders that we don't know too much about. But first up, I think that's going to be towards the pointy end of the ladies, will be Emma Burgess. Do you know anything about Emma Burgess?
What I do know about Emma Burgess is today, the day that we're recording, what's this, the 26th of March, is that she just came 3rd at the 21K at Yandina 5.0.
Nice. So
the inaugural race up there. Yeah, from what I can garner from Strava, she's certainly been putting the kilometres in. So the training's there. She's got the miles in the legs. So
definitely.
I don't know, but it's kind of hard a little bit. We're stabbing in the dark based on training performance and past performances, and you know, as you know, Rowan, as much as anyone, how mental this becomes. You know, once all the energy's gone and the fuel's, you know, not staying down, and everything that can go wrong does go wrong. It's all in their head. So, yeah, she definitely, having a look at her as recent as today, her performances, she's definitely in the mix.
I think, especially because she does a lot of trail races, and I'm pretty sure that she has completed Blackall 50, UTA 50, Guzzler 50. Does a lot of elevation during the week, so plenty of strength in the legs from running all those trails. So definitely on the radar for being in that top group for sure. Who's next on your list, Ben?
The next one I've got here in our list, I've got Juliana Hanna.
Oh, yes.
Is definitely looking at her training. I think she's someone who'll be in the mix. From what I can poach off of the internet, she runs with Brisbane Trail Runners, and has done a bucket load of running. Looking at her, what I can see on Strava, pretty tightly locked down, as you mentioned.
Nice. Yeah.
But the miles are there, the runs are there. Another one, you know, we're looking at that volume of training that's being done, and I think, again, indications are that she'll be one of the top competing runners, and certainly in the from a women's side of things, that's for sure. So, yeah, Juliana Hanna's the next one I had on my list.
And she's also on the Ultra Red team, I think you were mentioned before.
Oh, yeah. So, you know,
so obviously
she's running out of shoes, mate.
Obviously does a lot of training and a lot of trail runs as well. So that's awesome to see. Next on my list, I've got Mads Ruffino. Do you know anything about Mads?
So, yeah, coming out, I think she's from Victoria, looking at her details. And you would think that if you're prepared to travel, and I'll, you know, touch wood, we're past the limitations on travel because of our mate COVID, but if you're prepared to travel for a race at this point in time, you would you'd be backing yourself into at least have done the work. And again, her Strava definitely shows that the training's there.
Yeah, very consistent.
Real steady. Yeah, that's what I know. It's real steady training block, like this constant blue bars.
Yeah. Very consistent, and then has started to push the Ks in the last couple of weeks, I've noticed. But she's another one that's seems to be, from what I know, does a lot of charity work, 100K charity runs, UTA 100 finisher. So she's done plenty of ultras and longer ultras, so around that 100K mark. So,
and history would tell us that it's those runners that have logged those longer ultras and have been through the 100-mile sort of stuff, that they know what their body's in for, and they know the battles they're going to have with their mind, that tend to do pretty well in these. I also reckon she's got the best name in the field. I'm sure Mads is short for something, but if it's just Mads, well, that's even cooler.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Who is on your next list?
All right, so I've got Nicole Jukes down as well.
Yep. So do I.
In the ladies, really good form there last year, and at Clint Eastwood last year as well, up at Oxley. So someone who's been through that, put themselves through the pain of the later stages of a last one standing. Also pretty active on the old social media for the Dead Cow Gully pages. She's their social media guru. So, her name's out there whether she likes it or not. So I reckon she would have put the work in and is going to have a red hot crack.
I hope so. Yeah. I know that. She got first at Hares and Hounds 50K earlier in the year. and has completed, 24 hours. So, which is a tough ask. And I know she wants to, if not win it, at least be the assist for the winning female. So, which the person I think is probably in the best form at the moment is that person, and Charlotte Roberts. Do you know anything about Charlotte Roberts?
I think she got the chocolates last year. Is that right?
Yeah. So she was top,
the most,
top female. Top female. Yeah, top female last year, 29 yards, which is huge. Like, I know there's, around the world they're running, 60 plus here, there, but still 29 hours on your feet is a long time.
Some of these have been won in less than that.
Yeah, but yeah, so she was 4th overall last year, but yeah, she's completed 29 yards. She's won the Butter 24 hour. She's won the Tagulawa 12 hour. So she's definitely a long distance runner. So lots of experience.
Those timed events, again, bode very well as a mental platform, I think, for the
definitely
somewhat similar style, albeit you've got the, must start now component. You can't just pull off for a rest when you need it. It's, you're either there or you're not. So I think, definitely with those runs on the board, those performances, that I think she'll be quite hard to beat in the whole race. And I don't know if we mentioned, for those that aren't familiar, there's not a male and usually not a male and female winner.
No.
In last one standing.
No.
So
the last person standing is the winner, and that's it.
Yeah. And she's got, looking at performance and history and training, that you'd think that Charlotte's very much in the mix to take the title.
Definitely 100%. Yeah. So that's my top pick. But do you have any outsiders that we might not know much about, but just from their Strava history, shows us
I've got two smokies out of the girls, and one is someone that I know a little bit about because she often features in our Hillbilly Run Crew leaderboard, and has done for both distance and elevation. And that's a lady, Sandy Fatty. So she can definitely chalk up the Ks. I've seen her put in some big weeks of volume, big weeks of elevation, and I think she mentally looks pretty tough to be able to string the training she's put together at different times. That I think she might be one to grind it out for a long time.
Nice.
And the second one I had, who's somebody I knew nothing about, but in my in-depth research of all the entrants, was Andrea Farley.
Yes.
And interestingly, the first thing that stood out to me from what I could garner on Andrea was that she signed up for the Irrational South 200 miles. So you sign up for 200 miler, you're backing yourself in to run a fair way in a last one standing.
I
think that the mental toughness is there if you're prepared to sign up for 200 miles of running.
Definitely.
And also of interest is currently she's doing a challenge to raise money for breast cancer, and it was 55 squats a day. So she'll have some, that'll build some strength in the legs for those later laps.
Definitely. Maybe I should start doing that too, because that might help me. Trust me.
I can only do the down part of the squat.
Awesome. The only other one that I was thinking that I follow on Strava, maybe Katie Dahl. She's a quick runner, and usually means she's probably an efficient runner, which might help get some decent Ks under the legs. But being the first time at this format, could find it harder mentally towards the end, because once you get to those 24 hours, it starts to play on your mind a little bit. But definitely a handy runner to watch out for, I reckon.
Good point you're praise about I guess the quicker side of things as well. And as we've seen, it's particularly some of the ones that go for a long, long time, where you look at the accumulated time.
Yep.
And, we'll talk about some of the guys, in the men's side of things, where they actually get through the laps pretty quick. And then once you're sort of 24 hours in, 30 hours in, there starts to be quite a big spread of hours between the runners, even though they've done the same number of laps. That those guys and girls that are getting out and getting in and getting off their feet, I think that there's strategy in that.
There is, yeah. So a lot of Ks in the legs, and there definitely is a strategy there. As Phil Gore has showed us just last weekend, because he has a pretty quick finish time on his laps, and has plenty of chill time and showers between laps and all sorts of stuff. So he has definitely got a system working well for him. So it's definitely one to look up for advice if chasing any, I think. Let's talk about the some of the top guys, and first one, and it was probably the last one to jump onto the start list, but previous Australian record holder for 46 loops, Chris Murphy. What do you know about Chris Murphy?
Mate, all I know about Chris Murphy is that he was flying the flag for the Aussies in the world team. What did they call it? Backyard Ultra. That was on up at Oxley.
Yeah.
Was that last year? Might have been the year before. I can't remember.
I think it was the year before.
I know. Yeah, he was a beast that day. That was where he ran the 48, wasn't it?
Yeah, 48. It might have been 48. I know. Just looking up that he was the Australian record holder until Phil took it over with 51 or 50 and then 51 laps. But I think last year he actually went to the States and ran at the actual Bigs Backyard Ultra.
Yes, that's right.
I saw
a photo of him with Courtney.
Yeah, how good. That would just be amazing. That would be.
Yeah, I can't recall. I don't have it in front of me what he did there,
but he got 41 yards at the actual Bigs. But it's a tough ask. It's a big travel. It's yeah.
And he's a late addition to the start line for this, so not sure what his form and training looks like. I don't know whether he's had his arm twisted to enter, or he's last minute said, "Hey, I'm fit, I'm firing, I want in." All the lot of big dogs there, I want to have a crack. So
I think that was a bit of arm twisting.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that might. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
All right. Who's next on your list?
Oh, so there's you're probably gonna add 10 bucks, I reckon.
I know. It's a bit like that.
We've come up with the 5, and I think the next bloke that mentioned is the guy that was running right next to Chris when he set that Aussie record, and that was Barry Loveday.
Oh yes, yep.
Now Barry is in good nick. He's put some last few weeks. Well, over the last a long time, he's put some big weeks in. Earlier in the year, he did a month's worth of half marathons, I think. So he's knocking out 21 plus a day every day. He's had a couple of last couple of weeks, been over 200 Ks a week. So he is, he's definitely got the mileage in the legs at the moment. Fresh training to get there. He's also, mate, he's represented Australia in ultra running. He knows what to do. He knows how to do these things very well. So
definitely,
he's on my list. I mentioned him because he was the assist to Chris in that initial Australian record Chris had. But he could very well go a lot further than that if someone's going to go with him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. Because I think when I was looking at his Strava, his average for the year so far is over 100 miles a week. So that's some good training. Plenty of Ks in the tank for the day, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Who you got? Who you got next?
Next up on my list is Kevin Muller. Yeah, he's also he has done some incredible runs. Winner of Coast to Cozzy, winner of Glasshouse 100K last year. The Butter 24, he's won that. He's also completed 41 and 42 yards. So he is definitely one to look out for.
He's won a few of these.
Yeah, it's
multiple states.
I'm gonna yeah, it's gonna be a tough day, that's for sure. But
he's tough. He's tough as they come. He won down under 135.
That's a tough race.
Mate, at the moment, would he be probably, I don't know, 32, 33 hours into a 48-hour track event at the moment that he was well and truly in front. I think at the 24-hour mark, he'd knocked out, I think it was over 220 Ks. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, so, you know, and he seems to be able to roll out of one big ultra into the next.
Mm-hmm.
He's obviously doesn't have the glass body like me that you do one a year and then you manage the injuries for the rest of it. So Kev's a beast.
He's an absolute beast. Because I think last year he done 42 yards at Clint Eastwood, won that. A week later, goes out and wins Glasshouse 100K.
Yeah, and he's still and he's still, as far as I know, he's still sticking 16-minute 5Ks on the board as well. So he can do the long stuff, he can do the quick stuff.
Very efficient runner.
Nails.
Yeah, he must. Yeah, that speed is definitely got some efficiency in the legs. That's for sure. That's incredible.
And actually, I reckon he's also, I don't know if he's just a man of few words or he doesn't mind the mind game side of things. Because I remember a couple of years ago at Clint Eastwood, and it was down to him and Cam Munro, who's not in this race. He was giving him nothing. Every time they were coming in, there was no words. He just straight into his chair, just giving nothing away. Just So I reckon tough mentally, but also good mental game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's definitely just tough across the board. So he's going to be right up there. It's going to be exciting to watch, and I'll get to watch it in person. So that's going to be fun. Who's next on your list there?
All right. So what do we got? We got three. So I think the winner, I think he won it last year. John Pearson won Dead Cow Gully last year. Is that right?
The assist.
The assist.
It was the assist.
Robbed him. That's right.
His knee locked up on lap 43.
Oh, right. Well, things are going to start seizing up there.
Yeah.
It's nearly 2 days of running. He's another highly pedigreed ultra runner, another Australian representative.
Yeah.
Great at the long stuff.
So, he's represented Australia a few times in the 24 hours, I think. So it's pretty incredible.
Like him, Barry and Kev are all, they've all pulled on that Australian singlet a number of times, I think, to run, ultra world championships across various, whether it's distance or time, track or whatever it might be. So there's three very, very good runners there. Yeah.
No, he's quite funny to run with, John. He likes cracking jokes as you're running around. So he's good fun, actually. So I can't wait to catch up with him, actually.
So he's got the whole tribe going as well, looking at the start list.
Yeah. His wife and kids will be running out there as well. Because I think last year, they all got distance PBs, so which is pretty cool. He was very chuffed about that, actually. He spoke a lot about that, how proud he was of his family all getting the furthest I've ever run before. So yeah, it's very cool. They're right at the top of the list too.
Yeah, that's
you can't miss them. And finally, who has definitely throws a spanner in there and who won it last year, Ryan Crawford. I think he's the current 200 miler record holder, which he done that at BVRT last year. Average of 200 Ks a week, 210. Blackall 100 winner. Current Dead Cow Gully champion with 44 loops. And I think, if I'm correct, I think he just got third place today at the inaugural Noosa 100K. So
I'm just scrambling to look that up.
Yeah. No, he's definitely, I did see his chip finish just before we jumped on. So, yeah, incredible achievements.
He's class, mate. He's won most things, certainly around Queensland. The longer stuff seems to be the longer the better. Suits him.
Yeah.
He's shown that he's tough as nails in these events. He's a bit like Kev, got that real good mental game as well. Doesn't seem to give much away. And he's also he's one of these guys from the times I've watched him, certainly at Clint Eastwood, where he gets out, he gets his lap done, he gets down, he gets rested. And so he's having a lot less time on his feet than some people that are trying to slow pace it. So
he's
mentioned Phil Gore earlier, that same sort of strategy. And we've seen a number of winners across the country in various different last one standing events that, the quick laps, if you can maintain it, seems to be a good strategy.
I know over in the States, a lot of them running 60 plus hours are doing anywhere from 45 to 52 minutes on average. Like there's, a little about a 5-minute buffer there. But yeah, so it all depends on the type of runner you are. Are you a fast runner? Everyone has their own pace. So it'd be very interesting to see how it all goes out there. Have you got any knowledge on or some roughies that could be out there right up there with them?
I had a big list of smokies actually, and more again because they're guys that I sort of see their weekly output most weeks, or I know that they're sort of tough as nails type ultra runners. But I've had to shrink me smoky list a little bit, but I've got a couple here anyway. So the first one is a fella called Phil Fowler. I don't think I've mentioned him to you before when we're talking, but he's been, looks like he's just on one big running adventure at the moment. Seems to be running in all the best trail running locations across the country. Some weeks he's doing 9,000 meters of elevation, and like he just, when I was looking at the start list before, I saw his name and went, oh, well, he might, he might really give it a shake. So he's someone as I guess a smoky or a dark horse to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely.
I got another fella, Josh Duff, coming down from Cairns.
Oh yeah.
So he'll have all the heat gains from living up there. He recently had a pretty good run in a race up there called the Bustard Express. Which was a 4-hour race, and he was second, and it's a bit of a strategic race because you've got to pick certain loops that you're going to run, and your distance only counts if you make it back to the start for the lap. So he put a fairly good effort in there as a training run. So he might be one to watch. And the last one I got in here is a bloke called Rowan Cassidy. So I don't know if you know much about him.
Training for me has been going pretty well, I must admit. I have been putting in a lot more Ks this year for this event, so I'm definitely keen to get a distance PB, and we'll see how we go.
Well, you ran it last year, didn't you? You did 24
Yeah, I
laps
did 20,
last year. Is that right?
24 last year.
The 100
Yep.
miles in it.
Yeah, I did the 100 miles last year. I sort of, when I look back on it, sort of should have just kept going, because I think I finished that last lap in 47 minutes or something. So I had plenty of time to get back to the start line, but mentally it got me. I think the timer, knowing that I completed 24 hours, I was content with that. But this year is going to be different. So we'll see how we go. I'm very keen, actually. So
be good to watch. Good to see.
Yeah. But on my roughies list, I've got a couple. I'd like to see John Drysdale go a bit further. He did 30 hours or 30 laps last year. And I know he's keen to beat his record last year. Neil McNeil. I don't know much about Neil McNeil, but do you know much about Neil?
Well, a little bit. Only, again, what I see on Strava, and another one, his name pops up in the Hillbilly Run Crew every now and then with big weeks or big races. You know, I know he's run 100 milers. I know he's done pretty well in these events previously. I think he was he might have been the top 3 last year at Clint Eastwood, from memory. So he he can run a long way and he can run for a long time. So yeah, he's certainly not one to count it out. It's hard to know, like, with some of these guys, why they stopped last time. Like, you obviously know why you stopped last time.
Yeah.
But you know, some of these guys could have been feeling fitness wise and fatigue wise, they could have been feeling magic, but you know, just couldn't get the food in, or I've seen quite a few people that it's the fueling and the gut issues that ends up bringing them undone, like it does in a lot of big ultras as well. So it'll it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're naming all these guys and girls that we're saying, hey, they could win this, but you know, one Vindaloo too many and you're in trouble.
It's 100% right. But one thing I have learned from running stupid distances like this is, if you can't take anything down, just slow down, walk it out, and usually you can get something down if you're walking. Sometimes it's pretty tough to get something down while you're running, and that, you know, that pounding in the stomach. But it's a really it's a tough one, because it really gets people unstuck. But what's your thoughts? Like, we look at all these runners across the board. Are we going to see Phil Gore's record go down? Well,
the start list has got the cattle to do it.
It does.
You like our pun there. So they're definitely, you know, when you look at names like Kev Muller, Ryan Crawford, Barry Loveday, John Pearson, they're the guys. If you were to assemble, there's a couple of names missing. You know, it would have been nice to see Cam Munro's name on the list, but I know he was racing today, and I think he's got some different goals this year. But there's if you put enough of these uber high quality ultra runners together, then they're going to get there. You know, like, and you see over in WA that you know, you see Phil running what he's run, and you know, last year you had Kev Matthews go with him, who's went from my time living over there. He's like a quasi bloody celebrity in the running world over there, more so because he's such a good dude. But you know, he can run, right? And then you know, in the past you've had Michael Hooker.
Michael Hooker
is a beast, mate. And he's another one of these quick runners that gets in and gets out. And, you know, so it's all, you know, and then Margie Hadley and people like that. So you've got these great ultra runners. And I think if you have enough of them in the field, then when some become casualties from, you know, gut issues or, you know, touch wood, not injury, but things that can happen, there's still another one that can step up. And that's why you see these ridiculous distances in the world champs events and that sort of stuff, because there's so many high caliber guys and girls that can just push and push. So
definitely.
I think they're there, you know, like Charlotte, you know, she's going to Nicole, they're going to push as well. So there's probably, and there's people that we don't know, right? There's always going to be people that on the list, and they're like, hey, you haven't mentioned me. And maybe that works in their favor. So
maybe. It could work.
Yeah, it's as we mentioned earlier, I haven't been out to the farm at Nanango to actually see the course, so I don't know if that throws up any challenges that make it, anything that might, jeopardize the record. But to see that 40 plus laps were run last year, that you would think that the course can be done the record can be set there for sure.
Like you can look at my recce run that I did on the course. You can get a view of the whole course, but it's a very cool track actually. It's very, very different. I think last year it was nice and soft on the foot, but you do find that there's a lot of cattle footprints randomly. So there's some places that you need to be very careful. We had a bit of rain late in the afternoon and it got pretty slippery for a couple of hours. And then after the foot traffic and it dried out, it was nearly running on concrete. It was super hard. And it lost a lot of its sponginess just from being soft dirt to, it turned to concrete on the first night. So that added a little bit of extra pressure to your feet. But
what about the weather out there? Like, do we know what it's doing? Well, it's probably a bit far out. Queensland weather predictors aren't the best normally. So
I think on the long range, I think it had any maximum of 25 degrees, which is probably perfect running conditions. And I think the low was going to be about 11 degrees overnight. Yeah. So
that's
nice. It's not too bad when you're running.
No, you cool down quick though in that sort of 5 to 10 minutes that you sit down.
Yeah. You don't want to cool down too much because it's very hard to get out of your chair at that 24-hour mark.
Yeah, interesting, right? So the whole beware the chair type mentality goes out the window with these events. You need your chair, right?
Yeah. Yep. Because I run by the same mentality, especially in just your normal standard ultra point to point. I'm anti-chair all the way. Like, just don't sit down. But I think in this situation, you're using your chair as a tool. So if you go into the race knowing that I'm going to sit down every lap and that's just what I'm going to do, then you're using it as a tool to get further in the game. But as you know, when if you're running a 100K race and you absolutely flogged yourself to 80Ks and you sit down and then your leg seize up instantly, that's a bit of a different scenario where you probably shouldn't have sat down.
Do you reckon do you reckon people they sit down in the chair in these sort of things, in these last one standing races, and then it's, I'm going to rest, I'm going to, get my 8 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is, rest. And then they get too long to think as well. Like you were saying, you did the 24 last year and you were you could have done more, but you were happy with the 24. So you might have sat in the chair long enough and gone, you know what, I'm going to take that home. I'm happy with that. And I'm not going to step back in for the next lap. Like, do you think there's that risk?
There is definitely, personally, that the chair didn't make me decide that I wanted to finish. I got to like 22 hours, like, it's only 2 more laps to get to 24. And because I had 100-miler booked in for the end of the year, my first initial thoughts to enter Dead Cow Gully was to see if I could actually run 100 miles. Like, I didn't enter this race on the basis of how far I could go. It was more like, can I actually run the distance that I want to put into a big race at the end of the year? And that, when I was, 22 hours in, that's all I could think about was, I'm going to do it. And then once I did it, I started on lap 25. I went across the line, and then I literally just walked over to my camp chair and over to my camp and just laid down.
Fair enough.
Because super stoked that I actually run 100 miles.
Yeah.
But
that's good, mate. You got to take the goals out when you can, no?
Yeah, and that's that weighed heavily on my decision and steered me off the course, basically.
So because my experience with running last one standing events is 0, I've never done one. I struggle to find the appeal in doing one. But I reckon they're a really cool concept. What would you question without notice? Sorry, mate. Any tips you'd have? So someone's lining up for their first last one standing event at Dead Cow Gully. They're not really sure what to expect. They've done the training. Any tips that you would give them?
The first, just from being out there on the course, there's a lot of people that run way too quick, especially from the very first lap. I think while you've got the time and the energy is a really good time to relax and ease into it. And obviously you've got to do some practice runs before the race for this type of thing. Like definitely work on your nutrition and stuff like that. But it gets, you do your 6.7K loop and then stop until the next hour and then do it again. And you get used to that stop-start feel. Because as you know, if you sit down for too long and you're not used to it, your legs will seize up, and then you go out in the next lap and you're like, why is it hurting so bad? But one of the surprising things for me is it actually starts to hurt quite early, more like a lot earlier than what you think it's going to hurt. So if 50 k's in, everyone's going to be feeling something, but you just got to remember that. It's going to hurt, but just take it easy.
If it was easy, everyone would do it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. But it is definitely it's definitely a fun social, you get to see everyone every lap. So it really, as you know, like a lot of events, the elites take off and then you never see them again. But in this format, you get to see them every hour. You all start together every hour. Pretty much everyone that was running there last year got a distance PB. So it's a really cool way if you want to. I've never run 100 Ks, or I've never done half marathon. There's people that never done a half marathon last year. It was their first half marathon. So just caters for all abilities to get out there and have fun. So it's a really cool concept.
Yeah, it is a cool concept, and I will have a crack at it one day. I'm always interested in, and I crewed for someone a couple of years ago at one, and the thing, same as ultras really, particularly 100 milers and that, where people forget, you look at what you got to take in as far as food to run, or whether it's gels or whatever, but that whole element of, well, if you weren't running, you'd still be eating 3 meals a day, so you've got to get that maintenance energy or maintenance food in as well that you'd normally eat. And like you said about trying to eat when you're running, your gut starts playing up like that, throws up a whole heap of challenges. And it's not like a 100K, 100 miler where if you need to sit down for 20 minutes or half an hour and let it settle and wash it down with a coffee or whatever it is, you might only have 4, 5, 10 minutes if you're lucky to get through that and then get back out to the start line. So
that's
eating on the run or walking a lap a strategy?
Definitely. I always take just at least one food item every lap, just on me at all the time, just in case. It's and I always have 500 mils of fluids as well at all times. So just in case you don't get time on your break, that you take it with you and you just sip away because it's easy to do run walk. So run for a bit, walk for a bit, run, walk, and then while you're walking, you just eat and drink. It seems to work pretty well. But
good.
Yeah, like like if you, some of these mountain ultras down in Victoria, like the average 100-mile time is anywhere from 30 plus hours. You're lucky to get under 30 hours for some of these big races. But yeah, you can stop for an hour if you need to and just chill out, and then get back out there. But you usually only have 10 minutes spare.
Yeah.
So
that's I reckon that's the unique part of this. Like, you look at it and go, oh, I get to have a break every 6.7k. How easy is that? And you're like, well, yeah, maybe for a couple of laps. See how you go once you start getting hungry or you're fully depleted and you can't have that. You can't even have the moments where where you've got to sit down and have a cry or whatever, when everything sort of overwhelms you in those longer races. You still got to keep moving, or you're not gonna get through.
Yeah, you just get booted off the course. But another one, as you mentioned before, trying to have those 3 main meals is very important as well. So one tip I got was have breakfast, try and have something more substantial at lunchtime like you normally would, and then have something substantial around that dinner time as well. And try and keep as much real food in as possible is definitely key. So you can only take so many gels.
Well, I did hear, and I don't know if this is true or folklore, but I did hear the year that Kev Muller won, I don't know, it was Down Under 135. I think he might have won that twice, but it was some big ultra he'd won, and he took something like 62 gels or something. And he just can tolerate them. So he's got the tough mind, he's got the tough gut, he's got the running pedigree. Like,
it's definitely something I struggle with up here. When you're out in the middle of the heat and the sun's blaring down you about that 1-2 o'clock, and you've had that gel sitting in your backpack and it's nice and warm. It just doesn't seem to sit well. So onto the liquid calories seems to be the go.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, mate.
It's exciting.
How long we got? How many are we down to counting days yet? How many weeks?
We officially it's 3 weeks. But I'll put this out 2 weeks before race day. So pretty it's not far away at all. Still got another 1 more week of decent running before it's pointless, because 2 weeks out from something like this is basically just maintenance, isn't it?
Yeah, you're not going to get fitter, you're just going to get injured.
Yeah, exactly. So no, it's been fun. Thanks for the chat.
Mate, thanks for the invite.
But we'll definitely have to catch up again soon. All right, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed our chat with Ben from Hillbilly Endurance today. Make sure you check him out on Instagram, Google search, Strava, jump on his Strava community, and get to have a bit of fun on the leaderboard that he posts every week. He also has a Facebook group, so go check him out. Make sure you use the 10% code down below for your Spring Energy. They support the channel, which is fantastic, so make sure you go check those guys out. And hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment below who you think is going to take out the title. We'd love to hear your thoughts down below, so make sure you do that. And keep running, stay safe, stay healthy out there, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later.